Morning. Where are the other two? Someone was saying that I'm in room 4. Who was saying? It's her. Okay. Mundo usatu tiyambe kabisa. I come in for fast. Oh, it's sick. Okay, breakfast. Nde wina tamangeko ku office andivesereko uje ni form yanywani yakangati. The right doctor. Fine, how are you, sir? Good. This is a class that was left by another lecturer. Yes, so I've been asked to fill in the gap. Yeah, sure. The first day to be here for this class. Yeah, because Thursdays I'm not here. Yeah, and you're always here from 10, is it? So you're gonna see what you're gonna do. A few minutes. Of course, in the come on, there's a window and you open it there. I want to get a realize. Did somebody say 5? I am a car. Makayos. Okay, you wait. That goes. Indeed. Yeah, wait. So one is coming, another one is not coming. Okay, fine. That's fine. But at the stadium, I will go on 5. Okay. Ndama kwera zota nama amadula dula. Papa bandiro. Oh, hazina zima zungulira jonje. Okay, fine. Yeah, it was a madam. Okay, good, thank you. Okay, let's know each other. I'm Paul Mocha, married to one wife, 4 kids. Out of 4 kids, one is a girl, 3 are boys. I'm a lecturer here, a lecturer at Emmanuel University, a lecturer at Magu, a lecturer at Catholic University. So all this. Maganyo, say ni Maganyo, but I'm full time at Emmanuel, okay? Yeah. Eh? How do you know? He said it was that that's what he said. How do you know? there's a student, I don't know if it was you, who said, I know you, sir. Yeah, so, yeah, anyway, yes, I am. Yeah, sure. So that's your lecture for this last 2 topics. 2 topics and 2 weeks. Okay. So this is week number 1, and then number 2 we are done. But on the last one. Okay. So at least we have 3 days, eh? Okay. I mean 3 weeks, 3 days. I'm sure we'll finish. It's not much that is left. Yeah. Good. Yes. On the assignment. How many assignments were you given by the first lecture? Only one. So I need to give you a second one. Okay, and then set for end semester exams. Okay, yeah. So anyway, we'll do that. Of course, I didn't know. Until now, no handovers have taken place. So I have her number. What will be done is that she'll give me the grades for your mid-semester as well as for your first assignment. And then from there, I'll give you the second assignment. Do you have group assignments here? Different lecturers. So in other universities, we have one individual assignment, and then the second one is always a group assignment. So, but I don't know here. Lecturer. Okay, fine. Anyway, I will see. I will look into it. Okay. So when should we expect it? This week. By Sunday. By Sunday. This week, before Sunday, you should receive your first and second assignment. I will make it a written one because it will be very difficult for you guys to meet as a group. I will make it like an individual assignment as well, so that you can work it individually while you're at home. Then due date. Due date is always 21 days, okay? 21 days. So I'll make sure that the due date should be. When are you starting the exams? 10th of November. 11th of November. You have a study week. You have a study week. Okay, so that means if I give you on Monday or Sunday this week, so you count 21. You count 21 days, including working days. I mean, including weekends. Yeah. So that will be what? That will be I think around the 1st November. Yes, but I'll let you know. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Yes, can I know you, please, guys? What's the first name? Charity. Kawaza. All right, Mrs. Yes, it is Ripuga. Okay. Good. Basi. Mwamaliza? What else? How many children do you have? Okay, one. 1.5. Okay. Okay, area 23. Okay. All the way from area 23. Okay, good. Thank you. Yes, and this is your 4th year, 3rd year? Last semester. Last semester in your 4th year? Yes. Okay. It's good to know. So that when I give you an assignment, I know that I'm giving this assignment to the grown-up persons. This is your last. Beautiful. Congratulations. Yes, madam.
Discusses about the models.
From where? That's why you know me. Now I can tell. Okay, good. Are you married? You're not yet married. Okay, good. Yes. Now I know you. Okay, good. You're right. No, it's good to meet. Not only in church, but also in other quarters, like here in school and so on and so forth. It's very good. And then you know that the person that you meet in the church has got multiple skills.
Like the spelling itself.
Has got multiple skills. Yes, good. Thank you. Yeah. Now let's move on to our topic for today.
Okay, did you check?
Oh yeah, sure. You can also make sure that you switch off the lights. Are you sure? You're not pointing to the right button.
The spelling.
Have you done it?
MODEL.
Yes, that's better. Yes. So where is Elizabeth gone? Your first lecturer for this? You don't know what happened? Okay. The HOD. Okay. So in the middle of the course. Oh, that's very bad. She's still here. She's still around. Oh, I see. She's taking 10 years. All right, fine. Okay. I know you have already done this, but for my own sake, I want you just for us to start with this kind of definition.
Models.
When we talk about humanitarian crisis,
You checked?
is an issue which is defined as a single event or series of events that are threatening in terms of health, safety, as well as well-being of community or large group of people. So, for example, here in Malawi, we have had cyclones. Can you remember some of the cyclones that took place in Malawi? Cyclone Freddy, Ana, Gombe, and so on and so forth. Okay? So this is a humanitarian crisis whereby we have to do something on that. So the humanitarian crisis can either be natural disasters or human-made disasters or complex emergencies. All right? So natural disasters, as what we have already said, while human-made disasters are like what? Wars, yes, exactly. What about complex emergencies? Complex emergencies? Yes, like COVID-19 and so on and so forth. These are some of the things that are there in the humanitarian crisis. Okay, so examples of humanitarian crisis would be armed conflicts, epidemic, famine, as you have mentioned, natural disasters, energy crisis, and other major emergencies. Energy crisis, kusowa kwa mafuta, mafuta zitapulika, so it becomes a crisis. Yeah, zimatanka zichi. Yeah. Yes, it can be a crisis as well. It can be a crisis. Yeah, it can be a crisis. Good. So that's just an introduction. Let's come to today's lesson, which talks about supporting humanitarian logistics. Supporting humanitarian logistics. So all these humanitarian crises would need our support, isn't it? Yes, because an area where a crisis has taken place, it is not of their make. It is probably a natural disaster, and therefore they need people's help. They need support from other people. And so in this topic number 4, we want to look at the supporting humanitarian logistics. What are the logistics that are required for one to be supported? And then we'll be looking into the impact of funding system. What are the impacts that we can find as far as funding systems are concerned? And then we'll be looking at the importance of information technology. You know, this technology that we have today, you know, how can it be of help in order to support humanitarian crisis? So the technology that we have today is of good use as far as the humanitarian crisis are concerned. And therefore, we'll be looking into these areas. So let us start with the overview of supporting humanitarian logistics. When you talk about logistics, how do you understand by the word logistics? The movement. So the logistics are the detailed things that you do, all right, for that particular activity that you're doing. So all these are logistics. When it comes to humanitarian crisis or support, is what you're now saying, the movement of support or goods from one place to another. So these can be called logistics. So being a humanitarian, it means helping people who are suffering and save lives anytime, any place in the world. So when you talk about humanitarian, humanitarian, umuntu. So when you talk about umuntu, it means helping people who are suffering and saving lives anytime, any place in the world. So you may have 2-3 people there, but one would say, why are they saying uyu? It is because you have this in mind, the humanitarian. So being humanitarian, being muntu, is helping people who are suffering and saving lives anytime, any place in the world. And so humanitarian work requires being responsible. You must be responsible for doing this particular work. It must be conscious of the circumstances of other people's lives. That means you are conscious about other people's lives. So you jump in, you come in so that you are able to help. And helping them on the basis of need and without discrimination. So like the crisis that we had, the cyclones that we had, what are the needs that were required for the people to be helped with? Shelter, food, what? Clothes, yes, soap, yes, other health equipments. So these are the things the basic things that are required for you to be able to help the people. And as you are helping these people, you must not discriminate against anyone else. So this discrimination we're talking about, it can be either discrimination against women, or discrimination against men, or against children, and so on and so forth. Even race. Yes, that's a very good question. How does that happen? It happens, for example, I remember during the Cyclone Friday, there was an issue whereby humanitarian organizations went out there to distribute food. But then it was said that those young girls, young women, they were like, men were demanding sex before getting the aid. So that was already a discrimination. To say that if you don't give the aid which is required just because you haven't been given in sex, then that is a discrimination. Okay, and sometimes a discrimination can be, for example, if someone is in need, but you're saying, no, 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 you are healthy enough, you can go there and construct your own house. No, that is also discrimination, because a disaster like this one, it doesn't look whether you're health or you're not health. So sometimes humanitarian people would only go for people that are sick, people that are old, people that are young, you see, and and discriminate against those people that are healthy, those people that are well to do, and so on and so forth. So, but when it comes to supporting humanitarian logistics, it is required for each one of us to make sure that the needy people are receiving their supplies. Okay, good. So, hence, humanitarian support is material and logistic assistance to people who need help. Okay, so that's the bottom line. When you talk about humanitarian support, is the material and logistic assistance to people who need help. What are some of the logistics assistance that we got from other countries in times of need here in Malawi? Where during the Friday cyclone. Mm-hmm. Aha, exactly. So that is logistic assistance. They had to bring in their own helicopters so that they can carry food into the areas which are hard to reach. Okay, like in Nsanje, they had to use helicopters. In Palombe, they had to use helicopters because these are areas which are hard to reach. And therefore, when we talk about humanitarian support, we are talking about the materials. The materials are like food, like clothes, like other things. But logistics as well. We're talking about now issues of transportation, as you've mentioned. Okay, issues of transportation, transporting those materials, food from one place to another. So all that is what we call humanitarian support. Humanitarian support. It is usually short-term help until long-term help by the government and other institutions replaces it. So always humanitarian support is a short-term until long-term support is being found. For example, of Cyclone Freddy, we have had short-term support. And this time around, Malawians were on the forefront supporting our fellow Malawians. I have seen, even myself, I went into Palombe and donated some food items as well as clothes and so on and so forth from the university where I'm teaching. So we gathered all the materials and we went there to distribute. So that was a short-term help. But when talked about long-term help, what is it now happening to the Malawi government helping these Cyclone Freddy victims as a long-term help? They are building the houses. Exactly. They are building houses. A 2 million house, much as it is small, but at least they have a shelter. So a long-term help by the government can be found but later. But the first thing is a short-term help. So when we talk about humanitarian support, we're talking about materials and logistics that are able to help these people that are victims. And therefore, it can be for short term, or it can be for long term. Short term is food, blah, 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 blah. Long term, building a house or giving them another place, okay? Like those people that were staying in the lower areas, and West Bank. Eh? Those people, they are really, really in danger. And therefore, they must vacate the areas and go to the upper lands. So among the people in need are the homeless, the refugees, and victims of natural disasters, wars, and famines. So these are the people that are in need. So like some survivors that were affected by Cyclone Freddy were homeless. So Joyce Banda and who else? Blakiri Muluzi came in. Not only those two. There's another person in Malawi. Bushiri. Yes, Bushiri came in, assisting those people that are homeless. Homeless. Issues of refugees, if there's a war, because humanitarian crisis can happen because of a war. Refugees, in Malawi, you have refugees at Zarega here. I went there to Zarega. There are so many people at Zarega, so many people. Have you ever been there? Oof, there are so many people, and these people are very dangerous. They keep weapons in their houses. Okay, probably. Yeah, so these people run away from their homes, but what I've discovered is that these refugees, when they run away, it's not just the local people that are running away. These are soldiers that are running away. Most of the people that are in Zareka, they are soldiers that are running away. So, yes. Mukamenyana ndi muntu simutawa ngondo. So they run away. So when they run away naked. They take off their uniform. Okay? Yes, take off their uniform and they run away naked. And akafika pena bage basi amango mpira wina wake kumulanda zovala basi continues with the journey. So most of the refugees, they are soldiers running away from the war. So that's why a year ago, I think the Minister of Homelands and they had to make sure that in the villages where we are, no refugee is there. All refugees must go to the camp. Why? Because these guys were keeping weapons. And therefore they were going to Mozambique and fight against Frelimo there, Maganyo, and then come back to Malawi. So Malawi was a hiding place. It was last year. So Malawi was a hiding place. They would come here as they have a shop, selling their properties, selling the groceries, and yet they are keeping weapons, and they go to Mozambique, they'll come back to Malawi as a hiding place, and so on and so forth. So, but on the other hand, Malawians are humanitarian people. They are keeping refugees in their own land. Okay? Which is good. So, these are the people that are in need of help. So, we must help them because they are victims of disasters, wars, and famines. In Malawi, yes, I think the president declared a famine season for 2024-2025. And that's why we have some donations. You know now that Malawians are receiving mens, eh? Yeah, so that is because the president had declared famine in this country due to, cyclones and other disasters. Good. Let's come to challenges of humanitarian action. Humanitarian action, much as it is a very good thing, it has some challenges, isn't it? What do you think are some of the challenges when you are doing humanitarian action, when you are doing some activities as far as humanitarian support are concerned? Would be some of the challenges?
Okay, challenges in terms of reaching the place or challenges.
Any. What?
Corruption.
Corruption, okay. What else?
From areas that hard to reach.
From some areas are hard to reach, exactly. Okay. Mm, mm, mm. Yes. And keep them That's corruption. That's corruption. Yes, corruption or fraud. Yeah, or fraud. Yeah, stealing, fraud. Yes. All right. So we have some of the challenges as far as the humanitarian action is concerned. So humanitarian organizations are likely to be increasingly faced with situations where populations are under different layers of pressure. So when the populations are under different layers of pressure, then there is a challenge. There is a challenge. Let's see what we have done there. Okay, no. There is a challenge. Number one challenge is demographic pressure. Demographic pressure. Demographic pressure, we're talking about issues of age.
Issues of what?
Age.
Age in terms of age.
Yes, in terms of age. Some are small, young people, some are old people, some are in the middle. Okay? There's this demographic pressure. Whereby, how would you support a place where they have been victimized? Like, for example, us from Emmanuel University, we were not very sure how many children, how many school-going children are there, because we wanted to give them some Zorembela and Porembela, okay? But we had no statistics, no figures of how many children are we going to reach out to them. They had those figures, okay? And then, I think it was so early by then. Yeah, it was very early, yeah. And then we had no figures about how many women, so that we can take things that are necessary for the women. How many men are affected? So these are what we call demographic pressure. Yes. It's an issue of data collection whereby you are able now to find out what kind of people are we reaching out? What kind of people are we reaching out? Men, women, boys, girls, and so on and so forth. So this is another pressure whereby when a disaster has happened, there is no an immediate response, because by then you may not know exactly who has been affected. So that's why it takes time for the people to come in, because they want first of all to gather how many people and what sort of people have been affected by the disaster, so that they can be able to reach out based on their needs. And then economic forms of pressure. Economic forms is an issue of money. An issue of money. Welcome. Economic forms of pressure, money. Because it is a disaster, where now to get money becomes a problem. Okay? Where to get money becomes a problem. I remember when we had this Cyclone Freddy in Malawi, the president was not in this country. The president was far away from this country. And therefore, the ministers had to find out where can we get money immediately so that we can go there and help. So the Reserve Bank released some funds to say, okay, until the president comes, here are the funds that you can use in order to assist the people that have been affected by Cyclone Freddy. So the economic forms, yes.
You mean that is it Any money will come from the account number one is only the president is able to
Yes,
sign it.
yes, yes.
What about the Minister of Finance? Does not have that power?
No, there are certain issues like the disaster that we had, Cyclone Freddy. It was an emergency one. It was not on the plan. It was not in the budget. So anything that is outside the budget, the president must authorize it. You get it, eh? Yeah. So in this case, Cyclone Freddy was not in the budget. And that's why people were asking, where is Dotima? Because Dotima were supposed to plan for such kind of things, for such kind of eventualities. So if it is not in the budget, why are they there? So the Dodoma were supposed to plan in advance about these eventualities. Now, so because the president was away and the minister had no power to sign for the money to come out for such, to help such kind of things, but still they had to take a risk, making sure that the money has been released. And then when the president came in, he was briefed everything, and therefore he signed for that money that it was taken from the bank account number one. So that's another challenge that is faced by humanitarian organizations as they do their work. Another is pressure from natural and technological disasters. Natural and technological disasters. When there is, for example, heavy wind, becomes very difficult to reach out to such kind of people. Remember during that Cyclone Freddy, other people amachita kukhala pa ntengo or kukwera mu ntengo. How can you reach out to a person wakwera mu ntengo? And alimadza kuyenda liponseponse. Very difficult. So there was a need now for that technological thing to take place. Why can't, yes? A what?
It's a bad example.
I said exactly. Kunali chifunga cha mbili, okay? That's what we have been told. Kunali chifunga, and the pilot could not see the way, and therefore she hit the tree, a tree and the mountain. Yeah. So these are some of the natural pressures that we get as far as humanitarian action are concerned. It's a big challenge. It's a big challenge, I tell you. It's a big challenge. People would want to reach out to you, but how? Because, you know, the natural, the ecological part of it is giving you some limitations to say you cannot reach out to this area because of ecological issues. So technologically, yes, as you have said, until now, ndege ya kuchikwangawa ija, it is not known kuti inagwa bwanji because kachintu kamene kamapanga detect kuti chintu chachita mwakuti munalibe mundegemo. Okay? Because normally amaina kuti akhale ndi kakamera kena kake kachani kena mundege imene but munalibemo. So that technological thing, because it was not there, it's hard for us to find out why ndege jainagwa. Even yake andegeo akulephera kupeza zifukwa zokwanira bwino because kachinthuko kanaka. Come again? The commission, until the commission is set again, but the people that were on the ground trying to find out why ndege jainagwa sakubwera ndi mayankho okwirika, because some of the things that were supposed to be in that particular plane, it was not there. They were not there. So that's why we have this pressure. Conflict pressure. There is always a conflict when you are doing humanitarian action. There's always a conflict. Might be a conflict of interest, might be a conflict of what, but there is always a fight. There's always a fight. You remember when President Lazarus Chakwera called for all presidents to come and sit down together and find a solution to Cyclone Freddy disaster? Did all former presidents went and meet Chakwera?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
No, you're right. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. Okay. Peter did not go. Why?
Conflict of interest.
Yes. Conflict of interest. So this is one of the challenges that we always face when we're trying to be humanitarian to other people that are facing challenges. Okay? Conflict of interest. We know it will be his name that will be praised, not our name. And therefore, no, we don't want to help. No, we don't want to help. You know, some people would say, as one I mean, as one you know, these are the things that are there. And it becomes a very big challenge. A very big challenge. Even your neighbor, you would wait until your neighbor cries out to you. And don't understand the but you've been seeing him or her suffering, but you cannot come in, you cannot jump in until he cries out to you or she cries out to you and say, that's conflict of interest. Okay? So climate change pressure, as you have already mentioned, is also another challenge that humanitarian action is facing today. Climate change. When there's a climate change, you don't plan very well. Like this year, we are told that in the south, they will have less, is it less or more rains? More rains this year, as well as in the north. They have more rains this year. There will be other cyclones coming in. Two cyclones are coming. So you can imagine. So much as there are people that are planning, but this climate change is giving us problems. It's giving us problems. So the climate change, what is, what causes the climate change? What are the causes of climate change? There are lots of causes. Human activities, yes. Yes, human activities. So because of that, but even now in Europe, there are these cyclones. In America, a disaster has happened. There are these cyclones, and therefore it becomes a big challenge as far as humanitarian action are concerned. Okay, let's come now to the impact of funding system. You remember, this was just an overview. It was just an overview. Now, let's come to the impact of the funding system. The impact of the funding system. So in other words, every funding system has got an impact. It might be positive or negative. Yeah? Yeah. So funding systems play a crucial role in supporting humanitarian logistics, significantly impacting the efficiency and effectiveness of aid delivery during crisis. During crisis. Like in Malawi, what is our funding system as far as disasters are concerned? Where do we get money for assisting in the people? We get donations, yes. What else?
Budget.
Yeah, through the budget. Through the budget. So our funding system in Malawi is through the budget. And that's why we have this, what we call, they call it Dodima or Dokima? Dodima. In Malawi. Yes. So the Dodima people are supposed to plan and budget. And budget for unknown things. But good enough that today, the people that are working in the ecological, blah, 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 these people are very good today. I think they've got good machines. They can be able to predict what will happen, next year, or probably starting from January. So already we've heard that 2 cyclones are coming in. So the Dotima people are there to make plans so that we can be able to get funding in advance for any disaster that might come in. So funding systems play a crucial role in supporting humanitarian logistics. Remember, gentlemen, sorry, we don't have gentlemen here. Remember, the gentleman is sick. Remember, ladies, that failing to plan is planning to fail. Okay? And sometimes, not sometimes, but every time. Failing to plan is planning to fail. That's what we're saying. So, when it talks about supporting humanitarian logistics, there must be a system, a funding system. There must be a plan. All right? Even when coming to school here, I'm sure you had a plan. Okay? You had a plan to say, I'm going to school first year, second year. It's my phone. Yeah, it's my phone. It's my phone. Yeah, so because if you don't have a plan for whatever you're doing, let's say here you've been spending 4 years now. 4 years now, you're coming to the last part of it. What about have you done your research yet? Or you're doing it now? Have you done your defending? You have just written proposals. Okay, you haven't defended those proposals. Or some have not. Okay, so you had a plan. Because even in your proposal, there's a plan to say, this month I'll be able to do ABCD. This month I will be able to do this. And then last month I will be able to do that. So that is a planning. So the funding system, the same. If you don't plan for the funding system to support humanitarian crisis, then there is a problem. There's a problem. So we are saying that funding system play a crucial role in supporting humanitarian logistics, significantly impacting the efficiency and effectiveness of aid delivery during crisis. So what do you mean by being effective? Yes, yes. So effectiveness is what? Doing what? What do you mean by efficiency and effectiveness? Doing things right. What is that? Effectiveness is efficiency. Okay. Effectiveness, doing things at the right time. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So you've been very effective doing things at the right time. Efficiency, you are doing the right things at the right time. Okay. So those two ways are very important and they go together most of the time. So let's look at some of the key points on how funding systems affect humanitarian logistics. Funding systems affect humanitarian logistics. Number 1, resource allocation. So we're looking at how the funding systems affect the logistics of humanitarian. Number 1, adequate and timely funding ensures that resources such as food, medical supplies, and shelter materials are available when needed. So resource allocation. So right away from the word go, you must put in place some money readily available for the disaster that might come. So you people, as you become managers one day, you must make sure that resources like food, medical supplies, and shelter materials are available. You don't wait for things to happen. No, no, no. You store up things in case there is a crisis, and therefore you can easily take them to the people that are in need of that. In Malawi, do we have enough means to feed those people that are going to suffer for the cyclones to come? Eh? Kwa Bushiri. Okay. That is not enough.
The whole population of about 21 million people.
A president that one. Hamalima nangama jaja. Hamalima kumugudi sangalime at a larger scale like okay, maybe nowadays, because in those days Kamuzu had his own farms. Kamuzu Banda had his own farms. He was keeping all animals like cattle, goats, sheep, chickens, and he was doing farming, yeah, like crop farming. Yeah? Yeah, he had big farms. He had big farms. Yes, yes. Kamuzu had his own farms. I don't know these presidents now. Yeah, so we must have adequate and timely funding, making sure that resources are available when they are needed. So when there are delays or shortages in funding, it can lead to critical gaps in aid delivery. So we must make sure that we prepare for anything else. And that's why today, when we are working in organizations, there is always a medical scheme whereby you bank money in advance and say, in case I get sick, and then I can go and withdraw that money and go to the hospital. So we have a medical scheme through Mazim, and through there's a Smile, there's another one which is called what? Do you have a medical scheme here at the university, at this university? You don't know? Okay. Yes. So any delay as far as resource allocation is concerned, it will lead to gaps in aid delivery. And that's why you've seen people dying. Why? Because there are delays. The Chikangawa issue. It was possible, I think, for Dr. Chidima to get better, to be alive. Okay, but because of the delays, people had to spend the whole night without searching for that plane. And therefore, he was found dead. So that is because there was a delay. So any delay will lead us in critical gaps in aid delivery. And even shortages. If you don't have enough money, you don't have enough food to give to the people, then it leads us to a critical gap. So that affects, remember we're talking about funding systems that affect humanitarian logistics. Yeah. Okay, so number one is issues of resource allocation. Then number two is supply chain management. Supply chain management. Approximately 73% of humanitarian response spending is related to supply chain activities. So effective funding system enable better planning, coordination, and management of supply chains, ensuring that aid reaches those in need promptly. So supply chain management is that, you must be able to know if something has happened today, where is maize kept? And in which area is maize kept? Like in Malawi, how many silos do we have? Three, 2 or 3 areas. No, there are 3. We have one in Nzuzu, one in Longwe, and another one in Cholo. In Cholo. So these are silos whereby our maize are kept. So there must be that kind of supply chain management whereby you know exactly where these food supplies are. And there must be a truck or a vehicle readily available to say when there is a disaster, you know that within a short period of time, that maize has been packed up and it has been driven or sent to a particular place for the supply of those that I need. And that's why at Mazim offices today, you have ambulances readily available. Whenever there's a call, a person is sick at home, and a driver has received a call, you immediately, the driver rushes there and then bring this person to a hospital. It is very important to make sure that these supply chain activities are done. So effective funding systems enable better planning. Okay, so there must be a very good plan on how to do that. There must be a very good coordination. A very good coordination. The issue of Chikangawa, do you think there was a good coordination? Not at all. There were gaps in between. Who authorized ndege kuti zibwerera? And who authorized ndege kuti nyamuke zipita without checking it? Who authorized, so many questions. Until today, there are questions that are unanswered. So coordination is very important. And management of supply chains, ensuring that aid reaches those in need promptly. So you underline this word, promptly, without delays. Promptly, without delays. So there is a need for supply chain management. So for you to be very effective in the issues of humanitarian logistics, there must be supply chain management. You understand that? Yes. Yes. That's how you can become very effective. Very effective. Another one is public-private partnership. Public-private partnership. For a humanitarian organization to be effective in its supporting the logistics of it, the funding system that encourage collaboration between public and private sector can enhance logistical capabilities. In other words, don't do it alone. Don't do it alone. There must be a cooperation. There must be a collaboration between the private and the public sector. Mukangokakamira kuti I know, I think indipanga ndekha. This is sizienda. You need that kind of partnership. Even in school, if you don't partner with someone else, don't think that